morning, everybody. Good morning. That's good. Is everybody having a great morning so far?
Yes.
A great day, isn't it? Yeah. All right. Well, how many of you like to learn new things? Oh, that's wonderful. That's what I like to see. Well, I'm here this morning to teach you what I believe is the single most important thing you need to know about your health. So if you learn how to do this properly, it's going to help you play soccer or rugby or gymnastics or netball better. It's going to help you do better at school. It's going to help you ride your bike better, play Minecraft better. Oh, I knew that would get a few of these. Yeah. It's really, really important. And I'm going to teach you some things that you might not necessarily hear about. So you need to pay really close attention because this is really important. You might not ever hear this again. Unless your principal invites me back, which I hope she does. All right? Did you know that the word doctor means to teach?
Yeah.
Did you know that? So all of your teachers are doctors, did you know that?
Yeah.
And I think they're probably very good ones. Okay? So we're going to talk about posture today. And is everybody sitting up nice and tall? That's what I like to see. That's very good. We're going to talk about posture today and why it's so important. And the one thing I want to make sure you understand by the end of this half hour or so is that poor posture is deadly. Okay, and that sounds kind of funny right now. And I'm sure some of the adults are looking at me kind of like, what's he talking about? But I think everybody's going to have a really good understanding of why that is. Sound good? That's good? All right, let's keep going. Now, before we talk about that, I need to just see where you guys are and how much you know about how amazing we are and how our bodies are put together. So, I need to draw a little picture here. There. That one's running out on me. This person's going to be half black and half purple. I didn't study art, by the way. Okay, so we're going to look at some parts of the body. Now, I'm going to need some help from some people. Who can tell me what this is? You know what that is? That's your heart. You know where your heart goes? That's right. So can you take it? It's got a little bit of sticky tape. And you can pop it right there. That's perfect. Thank you. What's your name? Brooke. Thank you, Brooke. Okay. Now, these two things work with that other thing. Who knows what they are?
Lungs.
They are your lungs. So can you take one? What's your name? Alex, take one. And I better move a little further back. What's your name? Yeah, you put the other one up. So that one goes on the left. That goes right there. And thank you, Alex and Leah. That's perfect. All right, I got a tricky one this time. Maybe some of the older kids know what this is. Yes, you young gentlemen, do you know what that is? Yeah.
The liver?
That's your liver. That's right. Come on up. I'll get you to pop it up for me. That's a tricky one. So, just while we're talking, we do exercise to protect our heart and make sure it works properly, don't we? Okay. With our lungs, we do exercise, but we also avoid things like cigarette smoke to look after our lungs, right? You know we have to look after this stuff. Yeah? That's a tricky one. We'll pop it right there. What's your name?
Max.
That's Max. That's pretty close. Good job. That's a tricky one. All right. Does anybody know how we look after our liver? Any guesses? That's right. We stay away from drugs and alcohol, whether it's prescription medication or other drugs and alcohol, because alcohol is a drug. It does really bad things to our liver. And our liver is really, really important. It makes hormones in our body, it converts sugar to fat, and vice versa. It's got like about 3,000 different functions. So stomach, everybody? Any guesses? What do you think we need to do to look after our stomach?
Eat healthy food.
That's right, we eat healthy food. There's no such thing as junk food. It should just be called junk. It's not really food, is it? Okay, pop it right up there for me, my dear. Coming up. All right, I think everybody's gonna like this one. Who knows? I better pick. Who should I pick? The young gentleman right down here in the middle. What are those? No? Try again. Right in here. Yeah, they're behind your abs. Begins with a G. Rhymes with mutts. Your guts. Or your intestines. So come on up here. Pop it up. Good job. That one's a bit of a tricky one. I really like that one. A little bit lower. Sorry, what's your name? Thank you, Thomas. Okay. How many of you know what an orchestra is? Okay, an orchestra is like a big band with oboes and tubas and French horns and clarinets and stuff. All right. So I want you to think about this stuff like the orchestra. Who's in charge of the orchestra? Yes? The brain. Well, that's right. The conductor's in charge of the orchestra, and your brain, so come on up, is in charge of this orchestra. Very good. How do we look after our brain, everybody? Yes? What could you wear on your head when you're riding your scooter?
Helmet.
That's right. That's a good one. What else can we do? Yes? That's a good one too. We also avoid drugs because drugs hurt our brain as well. Come on over. Just pop it up here. Okay? That's perfect. Okay? So there we go. We've got the conductor and we've got the orchestra. Now, how does the conductor communicate with the orchestra? Does he send a text?
No.
Does he send smoke signals?
No.
How does the message get from your brain to the orchestra and then back from here up to there? Who knows? It kind of works like that way. Yeah, your imagination is in a certain system, like your nervous system, but there's a link there. Who knows what it is? The conductor in an orchestra uses a stick, but your brain, how does the brain talk to your body? One more guess, not your way. Yes, ma'am? No, not quite. That goes with your heart. So let me explain. And I get to put this one. Okay? It's a spine. That kind of looks like a guitar. Okay, listen, pay attention. Everybody sit up nice and tall. Oh, I love that. I'm going to use that in my workshop. So listen, your brain talks to the rest of your body through the spine and really through the spinal cord. Okay? How many of you have a garden hose at home? Okay, so here's a fun trick you can do on mom or dad the next time they're watering the lawn or they're washing the car. You go to the hose and you take it and you put, do you know how to put a kink in a hose?
Yes.
What happens if you put a kink in a hose?
It stops.
It stops, doesn't it? There's no more water comes out. So here's what you need to understand. If you have bad posture, it's like putting a kink in the hose. So that's what we need to talk about. And I need to talk to you about 3 really good reasons why you need to have great posture. So let's get going here. We're going to talk really specifically about this posture pattern right here, what we call forward head posture. Okay? How many of you think might have some of this already.
Me.
Me too. What do you guys do 5 days a week for 6 hours a day that you might be doing this? Yes?
What we're doing now, sitting down and doing a snuggle.
At school. That's right, sitting down. And most of the time you guys are at a desk, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to be really careful about this, and I'm going to explain why I think this is so deadly. So, the first thing you need to understand is that if you have bad posture, it can give you pain, or it can give you symptoms, and all that is just a signal coming from your body to your brain to say, hey, up there, something's not right, fix it. So, I don't know how well you can see this, but things like headaches and sinus congestion and low energy levels, depression, neck pain, arm and shoulder pain, asthma, chest pain, back pain, leg pain, constipation, a bunch of different problems that people can get can actually be caused by pinched nerves that are sending funky signals back to the brain. Okay? So, I'm just curious, does anybody in the room here get any of that stuff? Just a quick show of hands. Adults, please participate. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. You know what? Somebody who gets headaches, do you know how they look after themselves a lot of the time? They might take a tablet. But if somebody takes lots and lots of tablets, didn't we say that that might hurt their liver or might hurt their brain? And we know that's true. So it's okay to take tablets for a short time, but if you take them for a long time, you need to look at a better solution. Because I don't know anybody that has a deficiency in Panadol for headaches or a deficiency in cortisol for asthma, but there may be other things that are causing it. Okay, so if you want to avoid all of this stuff, you need to have good posture. All right? Yes? Oh no. Well, you know what? There's an answer for her somewhere. She just has to keep looking a little harder. Okay? So, I'd like to talk to your mom. Okay, well that's good, because nobody else is going to. Okay, so that's the first thing. Pain and symptoms. We want to make sure we're healthy. We don't want to have any of that stuff. Now, the next thing you need to know. All right. I want you to take those. They're just plastic. They're not real, sorry. Just plastic. Okay? And what I want everybody to do, just listen, focus, sit up tall. All right? I want you to take these bones and go like this, and then wiggle that one. Okay? So if we can just go back and forth up to about the midway point, and then
Have a feel and pass it along, Lee.
yeah, have a look and pass them along, and then you guys pass them that way, and you go all the way back. Adults and teachers, I want you to have a good kinesthetic feel of those things as well. All right, I'm going to show you some x-rays of one person who over time had something really awful happen to their spine. So this is the second most important thing. First thing we said, bad posture affects your nervous system. I need to show you how it affects your bones as well. Now, I've got a picture of a person, and she's got good posture. Her head's over her shoulders, and can everybody see a C? Right there, can everybody see how that neck makes a C? You need to have that in order for your nervous system to work properly, and for your bones to be healthy. Now, this lady is involved in a car accident. Now what do we have? We don't have a C, we have a tilted I, or a small lowercase l. All right? So what's happening is that's pinching the spinal cord, but it's also putting extra pressure on the bones. And what happens when there's extra pressure on a bone, the brain says, build more bone. But it's building it in the wrong place, and it's not so good. So can everybody see what's happening right here? Who likes to ride BMX and do jumps? We call these ramps, okay? Imagine that's like a ramp. Those are bad ramps. There are good ramps, these are bad ramps. These bones are fusing together, okay? So if I touch this over here, does that advance it to the next slide?
Yeah.
Some experts in there. Okay, fast forward in another couple of years and we can see that degeneration has gotten a whole lot worse. Yeah. Okay. And then 1970, that was a long time ago, wasn't it? Ancient history. But it was a very good year. Okay? So we can see the bones are getting closer together again. And then, all right, how does that look? Not very good. Yeah, you know what, it can be very painful. But here's the thing, you can have that going on and you don't even know that it's happening. It doesn't tell your brain pain, it just kind of does it quietly, and that's really scary. Do you think that that can be fixed? No or no? No. Good answer. No is the right answer. Okay. So who here brushes their teeth? Me too. Did you all brush your teeth this morning? Great. What happens if you don't brush your teeth? What happens to them? Do they get rotten?
Yeah.
Do they fall out?
Yes.
You have to get false teeth.
Yes. My granddad has false teeth.
Yeah, mine did too. Watch this. Watch. Listen. Hey, up here. Can you get a false spine? No, you can't. You can't replace it. You've only got one, so you need to look after it really well. So everybody sit up nice and tall. Okay? Have a look around. Are the teachers all sitting up tall and standing up tall? Adults as well? Okay. Now. Okay. Watch. I've got something really important. Okay, so we know that if you have bad posture, it affects how all this stuff works. We know from looking at the bones, that's okay. We know that the bones can get damaged as well. The next thing I need you to understand is that poor posture can actually damage your brain and affect how it works. So watch this. Here's an x-ray, and that person has bad posture. Now this is the spinal cord right here. Can everybody see this bump and this bump and this bump? What are they doing to the spinal cord? They're choking it or pinching it, kind of bending it, putting pressure on it. Okay, this part of your spinal cord sends information back to your brain that your brain needs for you to work properly. Okay, so adults, what we're seeing, this is linked to a higher incidence of things like Alzheimer's and dementia. All right, and these are things that everybody wants to avoid. Does poor posture affect how well kids concentrate at school? Yes, it does. Does it affect